Hey guys, how are you? I'm sorry I started to record this whole video for about 30 minutes and then realized I was on mute, so I had to start it all over again. But I wanted to talk about Gannon Stauch, and I wanted to talk about the new information today about how it's finally come out, some details regarding how he was murdered, but also about just some of the things about how he might have ended up over there under that Escambia River Bridge. Was he put there, during the time of February 3rd through the 5th when the El Paso County is looking for her, looking for information for her during that time frame? I have some ideas about that. But before we get there, I'd like to welcome you if you've never been to our channel before and say, hey, if you like our channel, I hope that you hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell for notifications. We upload videos all the time and we go live nearly every evening. We're the best community on YouTube and we have a great time. We do more than just true crime because you can't live by true crime alone, let's face it, right? You cannot. So we do crafts and we do DIYs and we do, travel videos and we do cute puppy and dog videos and we do haul videos and all kinds of videos, lifestyle videos. And I hope that you join our community and let's get going. Let's get into this and see what's going on here. So the first thing I wanted to touch on is that Gannon was allegedly shot, stabbed, bludgeoned, stuffed in a suitcase, and thrown off a bridge. There are numerous additional charges that the DA filed because of the discovery of Gannon's body on March 17th. Remember, Gannon went missing on January 27th, and that his stepmother, LETECIA STAUCH, is in jail in Colorado Springs. And she's charged with multiple counts, including, murder. And we can go through those counts. We've gone through them before, but that's not really what I'm here for right now. I want to talk about how Gannon might have ended up there, okay? Because I want to clear something up. A lot of people that I speak to talk about, oh, well, the police had this, they're searching that. The police were never searching in Escambia County. They were never searching by the Pensacola. They were never searching anywhere over there. They were never searching by the Escambia River Bridge. They didn't find Gannon because they had surveillance on her. They didn't run surveillance on her. And that's the thing that a lot of people are confused about, because they're like, hey, Chris Watts had surveillance on him from the get-go. How come? We don't know how come. We don't know. But if they had been surveilling her, and they had seen her drop a suitcase over a bridge on February 3rd to the 5th, don't you think she would have been arrested a long time before? That's pretty strong evidence to have, right? Yeah. It didn't happen like that. Okay? It didn't happen. They got a call that a highway worker found the body of a deceased juvenile male, and then it was sent to the medical examiner's office, where it was tentatively identified as Gannon Stauch. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office was called the day after, on the 18th, and they released the press release on the 20th. So now here's the thing. We had someone on our live show on the 20th, and she said that, oh my gosh, yes, there was a big hullabaloo on Tuesday about finding a body, but never was it thought to be Gannon. There was nothing going on there that it was Gannon in the immediate area. So the sheriff's office didn't know. And they're spending, all of their time searching Colorado. All of their time. So let's get that out of the way. Now, if they're just finding out about this, what kind of surveillance footage is going to be around? all of those convenience stores and everything, most of them erase them. They loop around, and if you don't get them in a certain number of days, they're gone. So critical time was lost on this. So why do they think she was there between the 3rd through the 5th? Why? Well, is that when she was unaccounted for in, when they were telling her in Colorado if they were? Maybe. Is that when she was going back to go, load up a U-Haul or something and go back to South Carolina? She gave that interview on the 31st, the one with her back to the camera on the 31st of January. So we have to think, is that the only reason they're saying this, or do they have other evidence? Now, the problem that I have is that when our caller called in, she told us that that road is heavily traveled. But listen, because there's also a statement that someone made. Let me just pull it up here. So everything is discombobulated. So, no, that's definitely not what I want. I want this. Okay. And that would be here. That bridge is not used by people outside the area. It is on the old Highway 90 that runs the entire northern part of Florida, and most travelers use I-10, which is a few miles south down the waterway. So you would think it had to be someone that knew the area or someone from the area. Did she know the area? Maybe. Was she working with someone from the area? Quite possibly. The DA did not say that there was not an accomplice. He did not rule that out. Let's think again that Tecia was married to Al since, I believe, 2015. Al's in the National Guard. That means that Tecia has moved around and lived around military families for at least close to 5 years. Do you think that she's made friends in those years? And do we know that military families are, what do they call them? Military brats, the kids, right? Because they're moving all over the place. Would it be unusual that someone she knew would be in Pensacola? Now, why Pensacola, do you say? Well, if you're not familiar with Pensacola, it is, I'll explain exactly what it is here. Hang on. That there's not only the naval base, but there's Elgin Air Force Base. So Pensacola, Florida has been referred to as the cradle of naval aviation. The Naval Air Station Pensacola was the first naval air station commissioned by the U.S. Navy in 1914. Beyond that, around there, there's the Naval Air Station Pensacola Base, there's the Naval Air Station Whiting Field Base, and there's also Elgin Air Force. Because that Emerald Coast that stretches from Panama City to Pensacola for 100 miles and through 5 counties has not only pristine beaches, pine forests, lakes, and waterways, but it's also the backdrop to the area's military presence. And the economy of the region relies heavily on the military. So could she have been friendly with someone that was in that area, that was military, that she knew? Absolutely. Could it even have been maybe someone she was crying to, maybe a male, about what was happening, that she was being persecuted unjustly, as she gave her interview, saying on the 31st to that news reporter? Maybe she was crying to someone. Maybe someone offered to help her. We don't know, but it does make sense. With that roadway being so visible, do we think that she went there and had Gannon in a suitcase and then picked it up in clear visibility and threw it over this bridge? That would be a big chance to take, because that would be pretty notable if you saw somebody doing that, right? When you're driving by, you'd be like, what the heck? What if there were homeless people underneath the bridge? Now, under that bridge, there are roadways that go under there, and there are like fish tackle shops or fishing shops where people can, get bait to rent boats. And if you look on some of those fishing shop sites, there's pictures where they show people fishing like under this bridge. So is there another way to get there where she could have slipped in, much quieter and placed this suitcase somewhere? Yeah. It's saying it was thrown off the bridge in the news articles that we have. Do we know for certain? Do we know why they're saying it? No, we don't. We have no idea. Just that it says that. Okay. So what if it was thrown off the bridge? Well, could somebody have parked on the side and just waited and waited and waited, maybe even took the suitcase out on the side of the car that was close to the bridge and just waited there? And under the cover of darkness, quickly, as soon as there was like a break, threw it. Yeah, possible. Likely, I don't know. That's a big risk, right? Okay. But what about if someone else did it? I have a problem. I have so many questions. Gannon's body wasn't found until March 17th. Okay, they say that they're looking for information from the 3rd through the 5th of February. If Gannon's body was there all that time, and his body was discovered by a road worker, and the person that called in to our show on the 20th said that there are road workers and road crews around there all the time, wouldn't his body have been discovered before then? Could it have been that his body was placed there recently? Why would that be? Could it have been that Tecia had an agreement with whoever she was working with, if she was, that they had the body somewhere else, but in a way that if they needed to place that body somewhere, if they did arrest her, that they could avert suspicion from her? It's very, very possible. Tecia's, she's a schemer. Could she have in code spoke to someone and given a sign? Did they have their own sign? I don't know. Very, very possible. We know she was panicky. Before her arrest, we know she was panicky. So did she have something worked out? Yeah, 100% that could be the case. Do we know for sure? Absolutely not. Anything like this is brainstorming, trying to figure out how Gannon was placed there, when he was placed there, and why he was found when he was. Okay. Now, why do they know that he was stabbed and shot and hit with a blunt instrument? Because people are saying, well, if he was obviously going to be very decomposed, well, if he was shot, you could see that with a bone, that the bullet could have shattered the bone, gone through the bone. That would be evident. If he was stabbed hard enough that it hit bone and caused injury, that would be obvious. And also a blunt object can cause fractures. That would be obvious on that. So yes, they could tell all those things even if the body was very decomposed. And the other thing is, where was I going with that, with the blunt instrument? Oh, they were sifting snow. People wondered why they were sifting snow. Could they be looking for bullet casings, bullets? Very, very possible. But so much of, all of their time was spent there in Colorado searching. And Florida was just like the big monkey wrench, right? Nobody was looking at Florida. If anybody was looking at anything, they were looking at South Carolina. So what about this rental car now, right? I'm going to share this screen so I can pull up the rental car. Budget rental car, LETECIA STAUCH. And she rented this on January 28th, the day after Gannon went missing. He went missing on January 27th. She rented this at 8:50 a.m. She returned it on January 29th, the next day at 1:20 p.m. When she took this car out, it was brand new. There were only 5 miles on it. She returned it with 960 miles, and that would mean 955 miles were put on the car when she had it. She rented a white Kia Rio 4-door sedan. Okay. Well, just like Jodi Arias didn't want to rent a red car, she would not want to rent a red truck, right? Hang on, I don't know why my Zoom is showing over here. She wouldn't want to rent a red truck. So, okay. Gotcha. Is that why she rented it? She didn't want to put miles on her leased vehicle, right? But also, would anyone in her family, meaning Al, check the amount of miles she put on a vehicle if she rented it? If she used her vehicle, yes, it would be very obvious because of the lease. If she used his vehicle, yeah, he'd probably notice. But more than that, that truck was red, right? Nobody wants to drive around a sore thumb. So she rents this Kia. So what do you think she was doing with the Kia? Well, according to Tecia, first she says that she wanted to rent a vehicle that Gannon wouldn't recognize. There's a little truth in everything, right? Even in the lies. It wasn't Gannon. I think she was more worried about anyone recognizing her in this Kia. This was a car that would not be associated with Tecia. That was important. Okay? It was a bunch of baloney, which she said about Gannon not recognizing the car. We know it was. Okay? That she was going to go door to door and she had to bring the car with her. Come on. Also, then there was rumors circulating that she said that, oh, there was a mistake. There's a mistake in the mileage. That's never been confirmed by any other source other than Tecia, and she lies. So, 955 miles. Then people are saying, oh, do you think she took that and went back and forth to Florida? She couldn't. It's 1,400 miles. She can't do that. There's only 955 miles that's been put on the vehicle. She didn't have the time to do that in the time frame that she rented that vehicle. Okay, well, there's other rental vehicles. Yeah, maybe so. But right now, we have this that we're looking at. So knowing that she couldn't have made it to Florida, where did she put those 955 miles on? Okay. Could it be that she knew that she had to get his body as far away as she could and still be back, right? She had to pick Al up from the airport. She didn't have a heck of a lot of time. Could she have picked up Gannon's body from wherever she left it on the 27th and moved it to an area where she either had a rendezvous with someone and they switched and that person took it down towards Pensacola? Like I said, it's more apt to me that that body was not there all the time. How do we know that? Did the medical examiner say that body was in that area? Did the crime scene investigator say that body was in the area that long? Or could it have just been placed there recently? I don't know. We have to wait. We have to wait and see what the evidence says on that. But either way, yes, it's very possible she drove it some distance where she either placed it in an area that she could either pick it up herself when she went to South Carolina or met someone who took it from that spot. But yes, it would appear that that's where she put the mileage on, taking it to somewhere and coming back. Do we have to try and figure out what? No, we don't have to do that now. We know that she went somewhere in that rental car. We know that Gannon's body had to be moved somewhere. We know that Gannon's body ends up in Florida. Okay? So, yes, there's various routes she could take, and we could contemplate, oh, it's going to be, to this point, and then she could come with the U-Haul and pick it up. And yeah, we know right now, just by what it is, that it's very possible that's what she did. And that seems to be what happened. Let's concentrate on other things. Did she have, to me, it's more important, did she have contacts in Pensacola through the military bases? Friends, family, anyone there that could have helped out with this? Did she give a code word from her jail, jail phone calls to people? Who'd she call from the jail? Who'd she call? Did she call someone from South Carolina when she was arrested and say, hey, you better put this plan in motion? Why was she, what was going on? The arrest affidavit is not unsealed yet, and the new charges have not been put up on the website, though we do have those, and I can go over those with you. Okay, so, this is just stuff that I'm contemplating here. And I'm sorry, I'm a little discombobulated because I had recorded, like I said, some of this, and then I had to go ahead and redo it. And now I can't remember if I said it in this one, I said it in that one. We know her interview when she was standing with her back to the camera, right? And I just want to make sure that we're sharing that. It should go on there, but she's got her back to the camera. We know that was odd. We discussed that from the get-go. She had sunglasses on and her back to the camera, okay? She clearly did not want to be recognized. She clearly did not want to speak into the lens of a camera as she talked with the reporter. And some of the things that she was saying to this reporter, and let's remember also, I was going through a timeline. They're looking for the 3rd through the 5th. February 5th is when Dan May, who prosecuted the Kelsey Barrett case, visited Gannon's house. And that's when the Metro Crime Lab was there as well. Remember again, Santa Rosa County alerted El Paso County that a deceased juvenile male was found. They were not searching in that area, just so you remember that. She did this interview, she said, because she wanted to tell her side of the story. Okay? She said that she was being told that she wasn't cooperating with the investigation, but she was cooperating with the investigation, she said. And she was going to be so ecstatic when they find Gannon and he comes home, because she's then wants a really sincere apology for what everyone has said to her, especially her husband. And I'm paraphrasing here, okay? And when he first asked her to give a statement to Gannon, to say something, she turned it into more about herself. She said, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I'm going to deserve this apology, blah, 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 blah. But then she wanted to say one more thing at the end. And that's when she went and turned on the waterworks, turned on those tears, and gave that tearful, I love you, Gannon. But let's not forget what she said here, that she hasn't been there because her family was getting lots of death threats, that her husband's ex-wife is living in their home. So of course I'm not coming home. That she asked for an attorney and was denied when she was questioned, that she was held there. She could not leave. She said if she touched them, she would likely have been arrested for noncompliance, that she couldn't get a drink, she couldn't go to the bathroom, and felt that her constitutional rights were violated, right? Yeah. She said that the detectives twisted things around and they made her feel uncomfortable. And the reporter said, why would she want an attorney at that point? She said she would need help with the vocabulary. She's supposed to be an educator, but she needed help with the vocabulary. And she said people said they haven't been around, but she has been around. And she mentioned her and her family going on searches and looking. And she described how she was held with a gun with her daughter while they were shopping for clothing, and that her daughter was put in cuffs, and she can't believe they were, treated like that, and she didn't even know it was a law enforcement officer because he was putting on his jacket at the time, and she saw the gun and she panicked. So she's explaining away all this stuff that happened, and then her daughter was detained in handcuffs, and she kept calling her daughter a little child, never minding what she did to a real little child. And so she was very upset her daughter was put in handcuffs in the store. And she said the rumors have gotten so bad, the conspiracy theories, these people must watch a lot of law shows, she said. And she said, why are they saying that Gannon is dead? He's not dead. We're going to find Gannon. And just because you have not seen us, looking and searching doesn't mean we haven't been. Then she starts talking in the past tense. We're going to find Gannon, and I loved him so much. Loved. Then the reporter asks her to tell him a little about Gannon, and everything is in the past tense. He was always so helpful. He loved Sonic. He was so sweet. He had such a kind heart, and all of that, all in the past tense. And then she needs Harley. Could we bring my daughter here? She tells Harley basically what to say. You don't have to go into depth. You're going to say that you saw Gannon after the hike. Her daughter says what she wants her to say. And then she gave that tearful statement, and that was the end of that. Now, what about the vehicle? Did she ever have to stop for gas? She brought it back on an empty tank. Did that gas in that tank take her all those miles? Could, but she would be really she would be chancing it a lot, right? Don't you think? It brought it back empty. What if it ran out of gas? What if she had to get gas? Well, at least if she could get into the area, then she might just say she was running errands or whatever, but she brought it back empty. So, she may have been able to make it all those miles, depending on the kind of road she was driving on and the speed she was going. But it was definitely a less conspicuous vehicle. That's what I just wanted to touch on, that I think there could be an accomplice that helped Tecia at some point, whether it was the point from where she would have left Gannon's body or the point, let me stop sharing this, that she would have called them from the jail to move it from another location. I don't know, but I don't think that Pensacola location being close to those military bases is just random. I don't think it's random. Sorry, I don't think so. I've told you guys that in lives. I've said to you, I think there's some type of a connection there. But, that's what I wanted to say to you guys right now and throw out there. Let me know your thoughts on any type of a military connection that she could have, whether male or female. And what do you think? Let me know in the comments, okay? And thank you guys. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd share it and get it out there. Really, really would appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could subscribe and hit the notification bells. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up because that really helps me out. Thanks so much, guys. And check us out. We're having a craft panel. And we have craft panels while you're stuck home. Craft with us, have fun with us. All right. Thanks so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.